What's up, guys? How's it going? Scott Torrey here for my third ever YouTube video. I'm really excited about this one. Before we go into this, shout out to Elite Gaming for a fantastic win this past weekend. We are a little bit salty about it, but you know what? They earned it. They earned it, especially with that rough opener they had. Being able to come back, get their stuff together, and kind of bring home that win for Elite Nation. So congrats to Elite Gaming. Going into this 109 to 109. It was such a close war there at the end. Came down to percent 92.03 for Immoral Thieves, 92.68 for Elite Gaming. Incredible. We're about to go over some stats from how each clan did, and then we're gonna go into some 10v10 replays. No 11v11 attempts this war. So initially diving into this, I'm gonna go ahead and put up a little bit of eye candy for you guys. So some of the stats: 9v9s. Immoral Thieves went 19 for 26. Almost clearing the 9s within the first 3 hours. The opening was a little bit rough for Elite Gaming. They ended up going 14 for 35, trading 3 Town Hall 10 dips, 10v9 dips for 3 scouts out of their 9s, whereas Immoral Thieves got 12 scouts out of ours. 10v11, that's where the Thieves really ultimately struggled. We went 4 for 13 and didn't quite clear all of the 11s. We still left one on the board there at the end that was just 1-starred. Just a sliver of health left though before we got that one. It was tough. Whereas Elite Gaming actually went 5 for 6. Fantastic job on their part on their 10s. 10v10 we had 5 and Elite Gaming went 3. 11v10 dips we went 6 for 10 and Elite Gaming went 7 for 10. So it was a little bit tough. Initially looking at it, Immoral Thieves definitely the one that most people picked to win this one. You know, I mean, going into it, we expected it too. 9s just absolutely came out swinging. Initially, within that first 3 hours, went 15 for 17, whereas Elite Gaming was at 5 for 16. So initially, that first 3 to 4 hours, it was looking like, hey, I do that in the bag. And then, as the war kind of progressed, we started to struggle a little bit. And it wasn't just any particular people to blame. It happens. Sometimes people have off wars, and it happens to the best clans out there. So with that being said, going into this, we are going to hop into our first 10v10. Like I said, guys, outside of that, that was the highlight of the war, the 10s. Absolutely showing up. So here we go. First one was from Battle Axe on Foggy's base. All right, initially opening up, he drops that bowler. Fantastic placement, trying to tag that mortar with just one. That trade-off there is quite a bit. Dropping that king down, trying to establish that funnel and clear out as much as he can, making his way into that first air defense, and possibly trying to grab this inferno as well as the point defenses out of these archer towers. Down goes that queen. All right, as she makes her way around, he starts deploying those wall breakers. Note, after that bomb was triggered, opening up that compartment, allowing that queen to take out that first air defense, making her way in to take that next point out from that archer tower, and then ultimately that first inferno tower. And then while simultaneously able to take out that next point of that Tesla and clear out the splash out of that wizard tower. The value was really good there. Flight had begun, both hounds deployed, pushing those loons into that first expo. Hoping to pad into that next one, as well as clearing out that wizard tower and a lot more of those points there. Making his way over the enemy archer queen. Ultimately, he got that rage out, that skelly spell to try and take out the queen, and was successful at doing so. Hounds making their way in over that next and final inferno. Loon's absolutely crushing at this point. He's out of spells. Great split from the Loons, making their way in to take out that final splash out of the Wizzy. Hound's doing a fantastic job of tanking that last air defense. And as he clears that final Inferno tower, great work from Battle Axe. We're going to speed it up just a little bit, because at this point, defense is cleared, or anything that would target air. There's fantastic work of it. Nice triple Battle Axe. Good hit, dude. Backing out of this one. Onto our next one. Came out of Jeffrey on JSP's base. Opening up with that queen. Making her way in to hopefully tag that first air defense. Establishing that wider funnel pathing with that Wizzy tower. Should be able to get quite a bit of value out of it. There she is, locking eyes with that first air defense. Frankly, not the hugest of trade-offs with the queen. However, he at least was able to grab that air defense. The jump is down. You end up utilizing these Valks, as well as some brute force from his king, to ultimately make their way and make that push into that first Inferno tower. And try and take it out, trade it for that queen there, and take her out as well. Look at that, pulls her right there into the compartment, so that way the king doesn't really have to work too hard to get through a wall to take her out, as well as the Inferno. So that worked out great for him. All right, flight's begun. Making his way into that second air defense there, as well as that Expo. Quite a bit of points over here too with those archer towers. And as well as that 2 Wizzy tower compartments. Rage is out, pushing those loons straight into those Wizzies and Expo. And then finally making their way into that final Inferno tower compartment. Great split of those loons too. Able to take out that sweep, making their way into the final Expo. The next big hurdle will be that wizard area right here, along with those 3 archer towers. But he gets that heal down and the rage. It's gonna heal up those clusters as they make their way into those dual splashes, and absolutely smashes there. As you can see, he's got quite a bit of loons left on that attack too, as well as a relatively decent hound. Kind of hoping for the pop. However, at this point, I mean, it's fine. He's doing solid. Great amount of cleanup. He had those pops from the previous hound, so he got a decent amount of pups out there to kind of help out with the garbage. Great hit, Jeffrey. We saw some pretty good triples out of him this season at CWL Invite too. Very nicely done. All right, so backing out of this one, we move into Obliques. Obliques triple. This man's a legend among thieves. All right, getting that Wizzy out. Kind of picking apart a little bit of the trash. Trading those 3 spell slots. Take out that air defense there, weakening up that sweeper. My Royals are out, hoping to grab both of these air defenses, as well as the Expo, and potentially pulling that Archer Queen as well. As you can see, Royals making their way in. Luring the Archer Queen, locks eyes here, and is able to take her out. And then getting that phase out, got both air defenses and that Expo. Fantastic value there. Flight's begun between the 6 and the 9. So much patience in this attack, allowing it to develop. That heal spell drops over both of those Wizzy towers, healing those clusters of loons. That can be the Achilles heel to a lot of these attacks here. Are those clusters getting targeted by that splash damage, taking out a lot of loons at once versus just those single points taking out one at a time. So great work here from Oblique. As you can see, plenty of cleanup. I mean, absolutely smashing this base. Drops that haste to go ahead and take out that Tesla before they all kind of cluster there, allowing for the split for those loons. Smart move from Oblique. Great work. Next one is from Little Hammer. Little Hammer. Alright, first Wizzy comes out, targeting that higher HP gold storage. Down goes the Queen, as well as that minion there, utilizing the minion, noting that he has primarily ground targeting defenses here, hoping to get more value of just a 2-slot troop there. So Queen making her way in. Got that phase out relatively early, but was able to take out those points. As you can see from his troop comp, he's got quite a bit of ground pounders here, so the value in that was great. Initial bowler is out. Down goes that golem to soak up both of these archer towers, as well as that X-bow and the Wizzy. External Wizzy kind of help facilitate it. Down goes that poison and the jump, as well as his king making his way in with the rest of the bowlers. There goes that poison and the heal, keeping him alive, as well as the rage to kind of push those bowlers in there quicker to take out the enemy archer queen. The Wizzy tower especially, splash damage is so detrimental to these bowlers, as well as being able to cut in and take out that X-bow. He note that he's got the Inferno tower on point here. Single target. Hogs been deployed. One of the reasons why he actually utilized Hogs in this situation is because of that point Inferno tower. Instead of set to multi, you can really kind of take advantage of the utilization of Hogs versus loons in this situation. So as they make their run around the base, absolutely smashing. The critical point in this attack was that heal placement. With those giant bombs in there, he had to get it just right to keep those hogs alive, so that way he can make their full route around the base. And as you can see, he's got plenty left alive there at the end. Great hit from Little Hammer. Yeah, plenty of troops. Nicely done, man. Good hit, dude. Alright, Tong was the 5th and final 10v10 triple from Immoral Thieves. Alright, opening Wizzies. Note the combination of Valkyries and air he's utilizing in this hit. There's that jump. Hoping to grab that first Inferno tower. Alright, there's a king and those Valks being deployed, hoping to grab not only the Inferno tower here, but those air defenses as well, and the enemy archer queen, in order to facilitate the air portion of this raid. The value in this is great. Activating the king's ability. Ooh, not quite able to get that first Inferno tower though. But he did at least get those air defenses. And took out the enemy archer queen, which, as most of you guys know, man, that archer queen, if she is left alive, can be so detrimental to these hits. Those loons make their way into that first Inferno tower with ease, taking out that sweep, facilitating those 6 o'clock loons. Skellies do kind of target those loons there, but he's hoping to smash through his base before they can do too much work on it, allowing those pups to kind of take him out from behind. He does still have a heal here, which he's probably going to use between the Inferno over the Wizzies, There it is. Healing him up, moving into those dual splashes is huge. Great split from those loons, able to take both the Expo as well as those final Teslas and Archer Tower. Cuts it close too. Very nicely done. Plenty of cleanup. He's able to deploy those minions all the way around the base from the 12 to 6. He has a couple pups kind of working on those higher HP buildings, the gold storages. Great work from Tong, man. Good hit, dude. Bam. Nice triple. Nice triple, man. Alright, guys. That concludes the recap, the highlights of this war, Immoral Thieves versus Elite Gaming. Like I said before, congratulations, Elite Gaming. They definitely earned this victory. Shout out to the Immoral Thieves for allowing me to cover it. I actually streamed this war live on Twitch, as well as all the Immoral War family wars. Twitch.tv/Scatoria. If you haven't already, make sure you hop over to Twitch and drop me that follow, so you can catch some of these Thief Wars, 3 Point Park, Immoral Reapers, War 101, all the Immoral War family. If you are interested in joining the Immoral Thieves or anyone in the Immoral War family, we do have a clan in almost all of the CWL leagues. The only one the family doesn't have a clan in is Light. You can see the recruitment information in the description of this YouTube video. I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, and have a good one.